welcome to today's episode of Fun Friday. Yes, I know we were off last week, and I think just to be safe, we'll be alternating between every week and every other week. So, in case we miss a week, just know, okay, it's every other week, but sometimes we'll also show up every week. So, you're welcome to Fun Friday. It's such a pleasure to have you here. And I'm happy to be here again this week. I mean, last week was a bit hectic. Even the Thursday session could not hold because I had my day was just disconnected or disoriented. But thank God I made it through, and thank God. So it's good to be here again. And I have my co-host with me here all the way from Ghana, Ivan, Miss VOA. How are you doing?
Hi EJ. EJ, bonjour. Comment ça va?
Ça va bien, merci. Et vous?
Ah, je me porte bien. Par la grâce de Dieu.
Bien, bien.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's just by the way. Good morning to you all our listeners. And you're all welcome to the Afrocentrist podcast, the Fun Friday show. EJ, let's go.
All right. Well, you said good morning, duh. It could be good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You never know. With this online space right now, you greet the whole 9 yards. Okay.
Oh my God, bonjour is bonjour.
I know, right? That's fantastic. Awesome.
Okay.
Yes. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Special shout out. I mean, we're going to keep shouting out to this, our one supporter, until we have more. I just want to say a huge shout out to Chinaza Favor, who supported us on Buy Me a Coffee and left us this cute note that reads, just because the Afrocentrist podcast is one amazing podcast that deserves to be listened to by millions around the globe, I am only able to buy 3 cups of coffee, but in the nearest future, I will proudly buy 100 and even more cups. Thank you, Ejiro and team. I absolutely love what you do. That is such a beautiful message from Chinaza Favor. Chinaza Favor, by the way, is an author, a youth ambassador, and inspirational speaker. And you can connect with her on Instagram at Chinaza Favor _. Please, when you do, say thank you to her on our behalf for supporting us. And guess what? Chinaza Favor was actually the one on the show for yesterday, which was Thursday live session. And we talked and we had a fantastic conversation around your identity, who you are really. If you missed that episode, you better go catch it now. All right? And if you would like to be like Chinaza Favor and have us give you a shout out on the show, then head straight to buymeacoffee.com /Afrocentrist podcast so that you can support us with as low as $5 a month. You can buy us a cup. A cup of coffee is $5. So you can decide to buy all 4 of us who host on this podcast for now a cup of coffee, that's $20. Or you can buy us one cup of coffee, and we will share it. It doesn't matter. Your support is what counts so that we're able to consistently dish out amazing content to you. So one more time, welcome to Fun Friday. Okay, now, today, what do we want to talk about? We're starting a series on Fun Fridays. And so we're not sure how this series is going to go because the area that we're trying to cover or look at is a huge one, African parents. So we're starting a series that says, why do African parents do this? Why? We are Africans. And so we want to explore why our parents, why do they do what they do? Some of these things, we don't know why, we don't have the answer. And so we would ask you as our audience to also contribute to the conversation. Tell us, why do you think they do the things they do? Or they did the things they did? Because the parenting scene in Africa is changing with our new millennial kids and Gen Z and Gen Q and the next gen that's going to come that we don't know. So today on the show, we're starting off this series, why do African parents do this? And today we are asking, why do African parents silence the questioner in their kids? And this, topic of today, this area we're looking at today is an inspiration from a particular video I saw on Instagram. This video was posted by stoic.outlaw. That is stoic.outlaw. That is at stoic.outlaw. I could leave the link in the description of this podcast so that you can go check it out yourself. Well, like I saw it and it just got me thinking. This was Muhammad Ali long time ago. And, he was asking, he was on a show that it was being interviewed. And he said he said these things, talking about how he was asking his mom these questions about being white versus being black. But we are not going to look at being white or black. I just wanted to zone in on, actually, he was asking when he was a kid. And I could just flash back to when I was a kid. Like I would also ask questions too. But I noticed that as I began to grow, asking questions was no longer a thing, because when I was younger, I was just shut down. When you ask too much questions, you just hear, please keep quiet. Why are you asking so much questions? Must you know everything? That was when I learned, when I was growing up, asking so much questions, like curiosity kills the cat. Why do you want to know? Why are you asking questions? But I've just noticed that actually kids are natural questioners. Like they want to know, they're very inquisitive. But we found out, or have observed, especially in Africa, that as kids grow up, they stop asking questions because they were shut down. They were silenced not to talk, not to ask questions. And so they grew into these older people who are now timid, who don't ask questions. They just get into a place, they just, how are things done? The way things are done, they just continue like that. They don't ask, okay, why are we doing things like this? Why must I do this thing? Why must I? We don't ask the why question. And that's why even when it comes to personal reflection, we're unable to even reflect because we don't know, we've lost that inbuilt ability that God gave to us to actually question ourselves, right? And that's what we want to talk about today. But before we dive in, before I start to ask my co-host as well to chip in on the matter, let me play you the clip of Muhammad Ali from as seen on stoic.outlaw. Please listen.
I always ask my mother, I said, Mother, how come is everything white? I said, why is Jesus white with blonde hair and blue eyes? Why is the Lord's Supper all white men? Angels are white, Pope and Mary and even the angels. I said, Mother, when we die, do we go to heaven? She said, naturally we go to heaven. I said, what happened to all the black angels they took the pictures? And the angel food cake was the white cake, and the devil food cake was the chocolate cake. Everything white. I always wondered, and the president lived in the White House. And Mary had a little lamb, his feet as white as snow and Snow White. And everything was white. Santa Claus was white. And everything bad was black. The little ugly duckling was a black dog. And the black cat was the bad luck. And if I threaten you, I'm going to blackmail you. So Mama wanted to call it white male. They lied too.
Oh my goodness, wasn't that funny? Like, why is it white? Why is this? And then when it comes to the bad things, you hear black. The last part was what was the word that off me. Like, why would you, like, if I wanted to, face you or rattle you up, you say, I am blackmailing you. Why can't it be white male? Like, why people lie to, that was really fun. But we're not here to talk about black or white. We're here to talk about that ability to question. Why do African parents silence that ability in their kids? This is what we're talking about today. Ivan, what do you think? What's going on through your mind as I was speaking on this topic?
Anna, yes. So, EJ, today's topic is interesting. Really, it's true. We don't know why African parents do that. I feel, like you said, children are naturally like that. They always want to ask questions. And that's a very good one. It shows that they're intelligent, because if you're an individual who will just take anything people will say, you don't think, you don't ask questions. There is a question mark there. So you see, I believe whilst are growing, we should actually incorporate in them. If your kid asks you a question, even if you wouldn't want to, go straight, probably you think the thing is negative, so you wouldn't want to go straight and go like, oh, this is this is that. There should be, try and inculcate thing in them so that as they grow, they can naturally grow with that thing so that they wouldn't be, too timid. They can actually gel with people everywhere they go. They can't be misfits. They would actually fit everywhere they go. And then I also think that, when we're kids, for instance, I remember I would ask my parents, so, mommy, why is it that when people come home and we offer them food to eat, they'll go like, oh, medase. Ija, you understand medase, right? Medase.
I do.
Someone, yes, African, how we do it. Someone visits you. You would like to welcome them, you give them food, water. But, growing up, we all learned that when you go to somebody's home, you don't eat. I don't know about you, but I'm in Ghana. It's something we all had. When you visit homes and you are served food, you don't eat. You have to say you're satisfied. For this kid is hungry. You understand? But it's in our head that, hey, I don't have to eat. So maybe a smart kid would like to know, mommy, why don't you want me to eat when I go to Mama Ejiro's home? Then you can go like, okay, so this is it. But if you just tell a kid that, okay, no, you don't have to know, just do as I say, I think it's not too good. But I think it was all fun, when we're growing up, it was fun. Because sometimes my mom said I shouldn't do it. But EJ, I will go to my friend's home and I'll eat. I will eat. So when I come home, my mom would ask, so when you went to your friend's home, did you eat? Oh, mommy, I did not eat. But for all I'm staying. I'm not too. It was so funny. So your mom would go like, but when you were leaving home, there was no stain in your dress. How come I see okra soup or pump? Definitely there will be some stains. So your mom will catch you. You get the whole vibe. Your mom will catch you that, to eat when you go to your friend's home and you eat. And then sometimes, the parents will just bump, the other parents will just bump into your home. They'll be laughing. Oh, they are kids. Allow them, those things. They are all fun. But some way, somehow, I also think it was good. It's good training, all right? That, there are some things we shouldn't do. When you do this, when don't do this, don't do. But I feel when the kids question us, we should be able to, flow, tell them something, especially this day and age. Our world is just different. The kids are so serious. They'll be asking questions.
The thing is, yes, it does, but it does help to answer the questions, right? So, for example, the example you used now, you said, you probably asked, and let's just using an example, right? And your mom didn't really explain why she said you shouldn't eat at somebody's house. But then, what did that lead you to do? It led you to lying, doing it and lying, right? But imagine if mom had just said, oh, the reason I don't want you to eat in somebody's house is it's just that you have ate from the house. It is important for you to eat from the house so that you don't go outside and start looking hungry or feeling hungry. So you should be satisfied, number one. Number two is if you are not hungry, then you don't necessarily have to eat in somebody else's house. Do you understand? And maybe they now say if you are hungry, it is okay to say yes. Do you understand? Like, just give them that explanation than just saying, oh, because I said it, don't do it. And then they are not eventually going to do it and hide it from you. You see, that's one of the downside of not explaining some of those things to us. But I also think that if we use something else as an example, like it's because they also don't know. I think that's why most African parents do what they do in that regard, because they also don't know, because they also didn't ask questions. I'm reminded of, I just remembered this, I think it was one of my pastors, or I read in a book. I think I read this in a book I think it was in a book. Yes, it was in a book, the Millionaire Mindset by T.Harv Eker. That in this short story he shared is like a couple, right? A couple, the woman, the wife, when she wants to make sausage, she will chop off the top and the bottom of the sausage and make it. And so one day, the husband was like, sweetheart, why do you do these things? Like, why do you chop up the top and the bottom of the sausage? And the lady was like, well, that's how my mom used to do it. And the husband was like, oh, really? Well, why does your mom do it that way? I was like, I don't know. Like, okay, you know what? Let us call. They picked up the phone and called the mom. And the mom was like, I don't know. That was how my mom did it. What? So Then, lucky enough for them, the grandmother, that's the grandmother of the wife now, was visiting them. So they were like, okay, fantastic. Grandma is coming. So we're going to ask grandma why she always chops off the head and the tail of the sausage. Grandma came and they asked her. And grandma was like, actually, at the time, my frying pan was tiny. It was small. So for me to be able to fry the sausage correctly inside it to contain my frying pan, I have to cut it so that it's shorter. That was why she did. Can you imagine? And she did that. Her daughter saw her doing that. She started to do it without asking question why she did it. Then her granddaughter started doing it because she saw her own mother doing it without asking question why she did it the way she did it. So you see that this is how some mindsets are being built over time because we have just stopped asking. And I believe that maybe they didn't bother asking because at some point when they were asking question, they were just shut down, right? So, and I feel like this thing is very common in the African family, where you just, please keep quiet. You're always talking, keep quiet. Why do you want to know? Why are you asking questions? But I think it's changing now. Nowadays, our kids, they will ask you, you must answer, because if you don't answer, we'll go and ask Google.
Exactly now.
And you don't want to know what Google will share with your children. So it is better to pay attention to it. Why are we talking about it? I mean, it's fun, it's funny, but we also want you to think about it. If you're listening to this as a parent, or even as maybe you're not yet a parent, right? But you have kids around you, maybe your niece, your nephews, your cousins, your friends' children, please pay attention to it. When they ask a question, do not shut them down. If for any reason you don't even know the answer to the question they are asking, tell them you are going to find out, like, okay, that's an interesting question. I don't have the answer yet. Can you give me some time to find out and get back to you? Do you understand? So that they don't lose that ability and that interest and that skill. Rather, they will be able to groom it and ask better questions. If we encourage them to ask questions, then they're able to ask more. And the more they ask, the better they get at asking questions. That's really my thoughts on this topic today.
Right. So true. So EJ, see, you just ended. What you said was so interesting. So if you're a parent and you do that, your kids ask you questions and you don't want to answer, you see, the kids will be growing. Remember, they'll be in class. They'll be with people. That's how come most at times when we are in class with our friends and teachers are teaching, EJ, the teacher will go like, do you all understand? Yes. Everybody will say, yes, I understand. Then the teacher will go like, okay, you, EJ, answer this question. What did you learn from this? Now the kid will be sitting down. You see, that thing is in, that timidity, like the kid has grown with it. So they can't even ask questions. But if the kid grows to know that, hey, I should be able to ask questions, no fear. I don't have to fear. Even if you don't want to, tell me what it is, I would ask questions. The kid is scared to ask a question because he or she feels that, hey, if I ask the question, probably my friends will laugh at me. I don't get it. And it's a serious thing, going on. I think we have to tackle that. It's funny, it's fun, but we still have to learn something from it.
Yeah.
We should be able to, give our children the freedom when they ask questions. I mean, let's answer them. But if you think your kid is also going overboard, of course, you know how to, silence them or train them in some way they wouldn't, go overboard, like I said. Some of the kids can also be very troublesome. They can be talking too much. That one too is not too good. You understand, EJ? I think we should know how to, balance, this equation. The class thing is very important to me. I really feel for kids who are not able to talk in class when they are with people, their friends, they can't talk, they are timid. I mean, it's bad. So let's start from home. Charity begins from our homes.
Yes.
Parents. It's funny, it's fun, but hey, I mean, let's do the right things, okay? As African parents, yeah. So, our lovely listeners, thank you all for listening to today's episode. If you have any questions or contributions, please write to us via email at theafrocentrist@gmail.com. And I will, however, like to leave you with this question. If you listen to us on Spotify, You can answer the question and stand a chance of winning a gift from us. And while at it, please ensure to leave us a review. Okay, it's very important. All the best to all who will answer, and may the best answer or person win. Okay, so the question is, what question did you wish you got answers to from your parents while you were growing? This is so interesting. So we are all waiting, okay? We are waiting for your comments. And we will be on the lookout for your answers. All right, so this is where we call it a day on today's episode. Follow us on Instagram to catch a glimpse of who our next guest will be. So we come your way again next week. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep living. My name is Miss Voice over Africa from Ghana. EJ.
Yes, and I am the energetic EJ, all the way from the UAE. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Au revoir.